Hello, welcome to this new video. My name is Martina Vincenzi and I am the founder of the VIP Flight Attendant Academy Private Jet Coach. Today I would like to submit to you a very tricky question, and the question is, shall I report my previous colleague because he or she didn't hand over the jet in impeccable conditions? Well, as you can imagine, there is like literally a fine line that differentiates the type of answer you are going to give to this question. First of all, let's start from the beginning. This question is very much applicable to those operations where the team, the flight attendant team or department is composed by a several number of people, okay? So we're talking mainly about charter operations where you step on a jet at the beginning of your duty. Normally you remain assigned to this jet for the length of your duty, and then you go home, and then on the next rotation, on the next duty period, you are assigned to a completely different jet. So you keep on changing jet, and the person who is taking over after you, it's a flight attendant employed by the same company, but you might probably not really get to know this person. You might not even have ever met this person before. So we are talking about a situation which is very similar to commercial airline, yet we're talking about private jets. So nothing to do with those type of operation, the owner's operation, where the team is very small, they all get to know each other, and the flight attendants, which are normally two, they simply swap between each other every 15 days, so you actually get to know your colleague pretty well. Yet you're still flying on your own, it's still single flight attendant operations, but you deal with a very small team, and therefore you just get to know each other at the end of the day. While in the previous described type of operation, you are like in a big organization, okay? What is the most similar to a commercial airline? So this is the scenario, okay? You are on your jet, you're just starting your rotation in your big organization, your big private jet operator. You are assigned to this jet. You took the airline from home to reach the jet and the rest of the crew wherever they are in the world. You step into the jet and you find that the jet conditions, so the cleanliness condition and the tidiness condition, are not up to the standard. Now, of course, this is a problem, and you have to deal with this problem. At the end of the day, now you are in charge, you are responsible for the cabin, and you are responsible for the jet, so you have to deal with that. Bear in mind that because we're talking about a big organization, normally you have a very well detailed description of how the jet should be handed over. So the level of the cleanliness, the level of the tidiness is well stated on a document that should be shared with all the VIP flight attendant team, so they all will be aware of what are the expectations when you are leaving a jet. If for whatever reason you cannot reach those expectations, you should let the next colleague, the fellow colleague, be informed through your handover. So in the handover, I can write something like, I didn't have the chance to vacuum the carpet of the cabin because the vacuum cleaner broke down. Or there was, I don't know, like an ink mark on the seat, on the armrest of the seat, and I couldn't manage to get rid of it. So whatever is your, the situation you had to face that creates the jet not to be up to the standards that is supposed to be, you have to to pass over this information to the next flight attendant. So assuming this hasn't been done, so you arrive on board and you find the surprise of a jet which is not up to the standards, should you report your colleague or you shouldn't? Well, there is a fine line, and probably the easiest way to answer this question is by asking yourself a couple of questions. Like, is the status of the jet interfering with your work? Like, are you incapable to deliver your normal level of service and hospitality and customer care because of the status of the jet? Also, the second question, will the status of the jet, the current status of the jet, create unnecessarily workload and time pressure on you for you to be able to bring the jet back to the same standards? So I'll give you an example. If you have just a few bits here and there that you need to tidy up, for example, the blanket is not in the usual place, or there are some toiletries that you have to put away, or maybe the jet has been restocked but the stock has been left on the galley and not put back in place where it belongs, so inside the drawers or the cupboards where it belongs. This yes, is causing a little bit of an extra workload for you, but at the end of the day you can do that pretty quickly, within 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and it should be done. Depends how much of items we're talking about, obviously. So this is, on my opinion, fairly easy to deal with. On the other hand, if I have a very dirty cabin, if I have, for example, dirty dishes in the sink that hasn't been taken care of, if I have like rotten catering in the fridge or in the compartments that hasn't been thrown away, if I have a spillage of milk or whatever other liquid or fluid in the galley that then requires me to take, for example, something completely out from a drawer, clean the drawer and then put everything back. This is creating extra workload, time-consuming activity, and until I am not done with that, I cannot actually deliver a proper service to my customer, because I have to deal with that, and until the drawer is reassembled to the proper condition, I cannot board, for example. To be very specific, it happened to me a few years ago. I spilled milk inside the drawer where the dishes were. So I had to take out all the dishes and properly clean the bottom of the drawer to remove any traces of the milk, because it really stains a lot after 1 or 2 days if you do not clean that properly, and then put everything back. So the dishes are heavy, you need a lot of space in the galley to, where to temporarily put the dishes. You need, products, and you probably need to be aware of your cleaning methods in order to remove all the milk and then put everything back. And until I am not completed with that task, I cannot do anything else, because this is just taking the full of my attentions. Another situation that happened to a student of mine, which on my opinion is even worse, is to find the waste container full of trash but with no bag, so that the trash has been just put inside of the container and not inside a bag inside the container. So I have to deal with the trash now. And that's even more time consuming and even creating even more workload for me, because I have to deal with your trash that you didn't, properly stowed inside a bag, and then possibly take the bag out of the jet and put it in the assigned space. So all of these things are actually creating a problem to me, okay? They are interfering with my daily workload, which is already quite a lot, by adding extra tasks that you should have taken care of before leaving the jet. Now, remember also that in the scenario that I described before, so the charter operation where there is a large group of flight attendants, the reason why somebody is leaving the jet in not inappropriate conditions can be numerous, okay? Maybe they were rushing to go and catch an airline to go back home at the end of the duty. Maybe they had been removed from the jet all of a sudden and placed into another jet to do a rescue flight. Maybe they had to cover another colleague who suddenly fell sick. So there can be, numerous situations due to that the jet has not been handed over in the appropriate conditions. However, you should be aware of that because of the handover. So the handover, it's a really important communication that you do between colleagues. It doesn't necessarily have to be something, very official, such as an email. It can also be a WhatsApp message or an iMessage or even a voice note, just to let the next person know, or at least your flight attendant manager, that you couldn't complete all of your tasks because of this and that. So at least somebody is informed and can possibly do something to sort out the situation. However, just to make it clear, what are the standards for a private jet? When you hand over the jet onto another flight attendant, the jet simply must be impeccable. Perfect, clean, tidy, organized. You have to have everything on board, or about to collect whatever bits are left, maybe some laundry that has been washed and some dishes that has been handed over to the FBO, to the airport for a safe cleaning in the dishwasher. So apart from these 2 or 3 bits, the aircraft should be fully restocked. So you have to have water, olive oil, vinegar, crisps, salt, pepper, all the condiments, long-lasting milk, whatever you possibly need, it must be there. If not, I must be informed, because I am taking over the jet. I need to know what is the status of the jet. All the extra items that you normally buy, and that is responsibility of the flight attendant, such as magazines, like the monthly magazines, or the newspapers, or flowers, if your company wants you to present flowers in the cabin. So you need to have all of these items communicated to the next flight attendants. So overall, the jet must be, when you leave the jet should be in an impeccable condition, like it's ready to fly in 5 minutes, okay? So like ready, absolutely fully ready for the next mission. If it is not, again, there is this fine line that depends how long does it take for you to take care of the leftovers tasks. Is it something quick, or do you need even hours or days? It happened to me, for example, that I took a jet that it was in horrible condition. It took to me probably 2 days in between flights to set up everything up to my standards, setting up everything organized, clean, the galleys clean. I basically did a spring cleaning to all the cupboards and all the drawers, but it took to me 2 days. So then this is a massive workload, because you are supposed to arrive on a jet which is ready for you, ready to go. Well, technically, if it is not ready to go, you should report. Probably at this point, it's worth to ask you the famous two questions. The status of the jet, is it interfering with your work? And in order to complete all the leftover tasks, is this creating unnecessarily workload and time pressure on you? Only you can answer these questions, and if the answer is yes, so then I think yes, you should report the status of the jet to your flight attendant manager via an email, a professional email. Maybe if you wanted to add also a couple of pictures, it's helpful to be able to properly show to your flight attendant what was the status of the jet, and therefore maybe your flight attendant manager can help you by organizing a deep cleaning at the first available airport, or a restock of the jet as soon as possible. So use all of your of the chances you have in order to perform your job in the best way. You are not alone. You have a full team supporting you and helping you. Please remember, do use this help and do not try to do everything by yourself. You are not alone and you deserve to be helped if you need so, okay? If you need any other information about the corporate aviation industry, about the VIP flight attendant life, feel free to reach out to me. Also, please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of the future videos. That's all for today, so ciao for now and baci baci.